Hey guys, Dark Skeleton here for the final class legendary for Goblins vs. Gnomes. We saved one of the best classes for last, of course, and that's the Priest. Now, we're getting Vol'jin as a Priest card, which is a little bit interesting. And this guy has 6 attack, 2 health, which is a very interesting stat distribution for 5 mana. As the battle card, it allows you to swap his health with another minion on the board. Now, note, it does not have to be your minion from what it says. That means that this guy is pretty good against big health minions like a Giant, an Oasis Snapjaw, a Morgashan Warden, or more realistically, any of the dragons, such as Ysera, such as Alexstrasza, such as Malygos. So when you play the 6-2, you're most likely playing him at the health level of the biggest minion on the board. Which means, like many other Priest cards, the Vol'jin is actually a very responsive card. Now I think that this card's going to be a lot of fun to play around with. Imagine if your opponent uses a corruption on one of your minions, causing it to be guaranteed to die in the next turn. This minion of yours has something like 12 health, and you don't want to lose all that health. So you swap its health with Vol'jin, Vol'jin becomes a 6/12, and then you don't lose nearly as much by losing that original minion. Now corruption obviously isn't a card that people really play, but by swapping health around, you might be able to get out of some interesting situations. Here's actually a more realistic one, for instance. You're playing against a Warlock, and then you Thought Steal a Power Overwhelming. You use Power Overwhelming on one of your minions, and it becomes something like a 12/12. Now, you use it to attack the enemy's face, and then you know that that card's about to die pretty much at the end of your turn. So what you do is you use Vol'jin to siphon off the health that you just buffed that minion with, give it to Vol'jin, same idea as the corruption. The difference is that people actually play Power Overwhelming. And I'm sure that there's other cards that you can do a very similar trick with, and that they'll probably add more cards like that in the future as well. It also perhaps running all those high health, low attack minions and Divine Spirit worth considering. If you happen to make something strange like a 1/14 Morgashan Warden, you could easily trade that 14 health over to the Vol'jin, which would make it a 6/14, which is a very respectable minion. The only major problem I see with Vol'jin is that the more completely crazy you make his health stat, the more your opponent's just going to want to remove it. But to be fair, it's better to have a 5 mana minion force your opponent's removal than something like your Ysera. It'll be interesting to see how this guy works out in practice. I think at least a few people will be trying to run him. I definitely see the viability of this card. And then when it comes to Arena, he might even be a bit better, because the ability to steal your opponent's stats and give it to your own side of the board is huge for Arena mode. Pure stat value in Arena mode tends to be significantly more important than in Constructed. So if you stole the 8 health out of an enemy Giant and then used a weak 3/2 in order to trade into that Giant, leaving their opponent with no Giant at all, then Vol'jin would be a great play. We'll have to see exactly how this guy works out in practice, but I think he's one of the stronger 5-drops in the game. Cool card, unique effect, can't wait to play him. I've been Dark Skeleton, last video for tonight. I'll be covering the rest of the Goblins vs. Gnomes tomorrow, so go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you do like my videos, consider donating to my Patreon. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.